Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. Electrifying.
So there's a lot of panic, okay, with my last post. Obviously, everyone's saying, oh, because Havertz is injured, Arsenal are going to go for another striker. They're going to go for Eze. Look, Eze is not on the cards. Arsenal were on the table on Monday for Eze. They asked for a figure. They got the figure. They can't afford the figure. They walked away from the deal. Arsenal are looking at buy-to-loan options for next season. That's what they're looking for. They can't afford to buy. They're very, very close to their PSR limit. So they cannot, especially going forward, someone like Eze, 60 plus add-ons. They just can't.
Yes, guys, welcome back to the unbreakable, the unmistakable, and the always lateable TCP Live, coming at you live at 7:34 p.m. every Thursday evening on YouTube, and available ad-free on YouTube memberships.
And it absolutely wasn't my fault.
Patreon. Sure. We're back. Rohan, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been you on a Thursday evening, and what a episode to return to. Hope you guys are all good in the chat. You can see the title. You know what we're going to be talking about. Eze. I have been absolutely feasting on all of the Spurs accounts, just crying over it. And that one in particular, it makes me so happy because he's so confident.
That's what I was going to say. It's the confidence.
He's so confident in what he said. And the other ones, they're annoyed about whatever, but he's like, no. And he posted that yesterday. It's like 23 hours old or something because I went on TikTok, and he's kept it up.
Do you know?
I respect it.
Do you know what it is though? With ICKs, right? This is what they do. They'll go big on something, and then when it doesn't happen, they'll start saying, "Oh, the club, blame it on the club," as opposed to take any sort of accountability. The fact that they just went too quick, but
they could have just been wrong. Who knows?
Exactly.
We are back, ladies and gents. Welcome back to TCP Live. Hope you are all doing very, very well. Oh man, I'm buzzing to be back. I'm buzzing to be here because we're talking Eze. We're talking a massive, massive signing for Arsenal. I nearly made it on the stream that you guys did yesterday, but I couldn't make it home in time. Where were you? Let me know in the chat. Let me know, Rohan. I want to hear everyone's story when they heard the bomber. When they heard the bomber, where were they?
Okay, came back from the gym, and I was really, really annoyed with the Havertz news, and also it was kind of that compounded the Trossard news earlier from the day before. And I thought, I'm going to get my mind off things. I'm going to look at Japan videos because I really want to go to Japan. So I was looking at travel videos just to chill.
Okay.
And then I had loads of messages coming from Eze, what? And I saw the Ornstein bomber, and then George has got a text from George in our chat. It's like, are you free? He's like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
I was in
actually really quick one. Is this bomber better for you than the Rice one? Did it hit you more or less? Because I've seen the comparison to like Ozil bomber, the Rice bomber, now this stuff.
It's difficult. The Ozil one, because obviously in like hindsight, like I remember coming home from school, like Sky Sports, it was a different era. Like you could get, and you, because that happened so quickly, you almost can't compare. Like that one was just literally, maybe we have a good surprise, and then that just happened. And there was a bit of rumors during the day, but nothing really. It was a different time, and obviously now. But like for me, it was better. It was better, and the reason why is because I think just a number of different things. I think the Rice one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we'd had links, or certainly I remember an Athletic long read that we were trying for him in January, and I don't remember if we heard links, but I certainly remember. End of the season, I remember watching that Conference League final thinking, I hope we sign this guy, and I think we're going to do it. Like I remember thinking it's going to happen. Obviously, it took a while. Then there was the Man City bit, but it almost felt like a few when we got that over the line. This I didn't think would happen. And because of the Spurs situation makes it 10 times better. Because he's an Arsenal boy makes it 10 times better. Because of the Havertz news, like the dip in the day. Honestly, mate, yesterday I made a video for my TDK and for my channel about like our transitions and stuff. And like there's some really interesting detail in there, whatever, about like, what I think every single plugging myself of a really good video I made about like all the issues that I feel we have in transition and stuff like that. Right. And it got me in a bit of a bad mood because I was like, if we just like, I can tell you if Ødegaard maybe is on the left-hand side and releases a bit sooner, if Gyökeres puts up his fitness, if Saka, if, because I didn't feel, and I say at the end of the video, you can go watch it. I didn't feel we were going to do anything. I was like, I still think we're one light, so we can say all this stuff. This is undeniable, in your face quality that fixes that without having to spend time going, oh, but if we put him in the right half space instead of the left, shut up. He's a quality player. Play him wherever and it will work. And this is and like there's so many aspects of this deal I want to get into, but like I do think number one, and I think you guys covered this well on the pod yesterday, there is something about the energy that a player like Eze brings, and the creativity and the smile on your face football, and the story of him. Mate, he got rejected by Arsenal, Reading, Fulham, and Millwall before he went to QPR. And then when he got to QPR, he had to go out on loan. This is a guy who has worked and worked and worked and knows his football and knows that he should be enjoying it. And this is interview I always reference from Eze. He's talking to sorry, I'm just yapping. I love it so much. This interview from the BBC where he talks about the reason I play football is to entertain. And we can say, oh, that's fun. No. That is exactly what Arsenal is. Forget the tactic stuff, because we'll come on to the tactical stuff. The entertainer, the spark, the something out of nothing. And I could translate that for you into tactical talk. He creates an isolation. He lifts the energy of a stadium. He says to you, I'm going to go and win a game for you. And even Saka, I love Saka. Even Saka can play within himself at times. At times. I'm not saying he does all the time. I think that's another level for me to go to. We have a 27-year-old coming in who says, here's who I am. I'm coming home. I'm lifting the Emirates up and I'm taking you to a title, at least in intent. And what that will do to the ground, even, are you going to Leeds?
Yes, I am.
What that will do there, what that will do for his debut, what that will do. The first half turn. Do you know what I mean? Like, watch, and sorry, I'm going a bit of a rant here, but watch Liverpool.
You're cooking.
Watch Liverpool play that 4-2 against Bournemouth. I'm telling you, man, we can spend all our time. And Jamie Carragher's having to go on a slot on TV going, oh, but you know, Anna, if you're taking your fullback, Jamie, when basically your crowd gives you 1.3 expected goals per game. That's the stuff to focus on. And I genuinely believe Eze will give you something that goes beyond football, that goes beyond. And I love this deal from every single angle. And I'll finish with this. The fact that we took him off Spurs is bloody hilarious.
I think it's the journey, isn't it? Because it felt like this was just going to be something that was going to happen, like at the start of the window. But then the reports that are coming out in that Arsenal financially aren't in any struggle, as we all know, but it was about the squad space. And that is what was denying us from going for the Eze. And we'll probably get into the Gunner blog article, actually, which just came out recently. But I think the player is Wenger coded. And I think mate, Arsene Wenger loves wing fielders. Eze is a wing fielder. You go back to Arsenal in there, like I hate it. You think of the players like Nasri, Fled, Krzyzewski, Arshavin, Cazorla. Arsenal would play Ozil on the right wing at times. He'd play Ramsey on the right wing. You know, these are players in which are just like, it's Arsenal DNA, it's Arsenal heritage. And that's why you go on the timeline and honestly, you tend to always get on any topic some form of different opinions on it, and you get the people who are for something, people are against something. I've very rarely seen a situation where pretty much every single Arsenal fan is so on board with this, because it just makes so much sense. And that's why I tweeted yesterday, where forget about the tactics, just everything about it makes so much sense in terms of him as an Arsenal boy, him being rejected very early on in his career, him having to he had to work hard through the lower leagues, QPR, and then what he's had to do at Palace. And also bear in mind, at Palace, I think we forget about what happened there in terms of when Elise went to Bayern Munich. There was serious concern of what was going to happen to Palace after. And it was Eze who was the guy who was galvanizing that team. And then he leads them to, the FA Cup final, winning against Man City as well, and also performing well in the Community Shield. It's just, and then he's back now at Arsenal, mate. It's just... It's quality.
It's unbelievable. Like, it truly is. And look, I'll be so real with everyone. I've loved our window. I've loved the intent. There's been many things, but have I been excited by the window? Have I been like, oh my goodness me, I've had like a renewed love for Arsenal this season. I have this the joy, this thing where I want to watch Arsenal. Look, you know, people. I'll be honest. Look, I watch Arsenal all the time. It's my job, right? I rewatch every game. I talk about them every single day. Gets to a point where I'm like, am I just bored because I talk about them all the time, or like are the team boring, or like I don't know what it is. I don't. Maybe other people feel this, and obviously I feel like I'm very, very, very privileged to do this as a job. So people like I don't want to come across like a dick, being like, oh, I have to watch Arsenal all the time. Yeah. But I've sort of been a bit like, it's a bit boring. And I've sort of not wanted to say that because I felt like, we're still winning games, we're getting good outcomes and stuff. And it's not really good analysis to be like, oh, we're just a bit boring. But mate, when you sign someone like Eze, it just gives me lift of like,
Do you know
I
what it
want
is?
to watch Arsenal. I want to.
It's when we've done the pods, right? Me and George, we always were saying like, oh, this deal makes sense. This deal makes sense. This deal makes sense. But it was all contingent on something like this happening for it to really, really slap. And here we are now. So it's like, and that's why I think I think this is really good for the likes of Madueke, for example, because I think the pressure on Madueke drops off so much now. If we went into this season with Gyökeres and Madueke as our only attacking signings, the pressure on Madueke in particular would have been so big. And mate, I remember when Havertz in the early days when we signed him, and again, I'd say it's certainly worse in terms of the feelings in the ground going to them at the time in terms of that Havertz signing, especially that Fulham game. I remember when Havertz was doing a couple of really poor actions, and you could tell the crowd really getting on his back, and you could feel it. And I feel like that won't happen with a Madueke, let's say, if it does take him a little bit of time to develop momentum, because you've got someone like Eze, and because of the depth that we have in our attack, that we can change things. Like against Man United, the bench, like the options that we have to change proceedings is fantastic. And then now you add an Eze, it's crazy.
I love it. There's so many angles I want to go to. We'll try and cover as many as we can because there's just so many implications and things off this deal. Another one I'll talk about. I think this is a massive thing for Mikel.
Yeah.
And so for I think I said recently we were asked on the main pod, like, what's the one thing holding us back? And George's Tim Lewis agenda lasted long, didn't it? What did you say? You said
I said injuries.
Injuries, yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't helped, has it? But I think my one was like, I in theory, yes, we get tweets and articles and posts saying Arsenal are working on being more vertical, but are we gonna see a change? Is Mikel Arteta fundamentally going to adapt his football philosophy? Mate, there is firstly, forget the player, forget the fact that this is a player who expresses himself in a very, very different way, and at 27 is not going to change. Every single way, wherever you put him, this spells change. Wherever you put him. Right central midfielder. Okay, well, that means Odegaard's moving, and that pushes Odegaard into a different spot. That means the press changes. That means how we access central spaces changes. Yeah. That means how we transition changes, etc., etc. Put him on the left. Well, he's obviously going to drift inside. He's not going to stay as a touchline winger, so that's going to change how the fullbacks operate. It's going to change how the Rice goes. We'll maybe talk. I think you and George spoke a little bit about sort of iterations. Maybe we won't go there today. But what I love is whatever happens, there's change here. There's change in terms of, and this is a big thing for me, and I said this in like my initial reaction to it. Arsenal have specific issues. For example, we had the second highest. Hang on, let me get this right. The shot distance. Hang on a minute, I'll get in there. The shot distance that was second closest to goal. There we go, in the Premier League last year, only to Brentford, right? Eberechi Eze is something like, after El Khanous, like basically all the 10s for the lower league teams. So like El Khanous, let me just get I've got the list up somewhere. Let me just get it.
Yeah.
He is the furthest. Well, no, hang on. I'm saying, let me actually get this up because I've got it up, and I don't want to give people bogus stats. Where is it?
Is it that one with Eze, Madueke, Saka you're alluding to?
Not that one. We can talk about that one later.
Yeah.
So Eze is 23rd out of 574 players in the entire Premier League for average shot distance. So he's 23rd out of 574, which might, you could say, okay, that's pretty high, but what? But most of the people above him are fullbacks. People like Anthony Robinson, who obviously just like get pot shots off from distance, or they might have like 10 shots over the course of the season. Eze has 100 shots, so he's right up there. And if you remove all the fullbacks, the only people above him are Enciso, Bruno, 10s from lower league teams, McNeil, and El Khanous.
Yeah.
So translate that to a team like us. There are four Premier League players who have scored 5+ goals from outside the box across all competitions since the start of last season: Bruno, Kovacic, Cunha, and Eze. 111 of his 308 shots for Crystal Palace in the Premier League have come from over 25 meters out. I think his average shot distance is something like 20 meters. So in terms of that specific issue, Arsenal are too far from goal generally in terms of having shots. It's not. I can't see Mikel, us going to number one, but having that ability. And if we translate that onto the pitch, we get teams pressed in like this, but we're passing around them. Having that ability to shoot from distance, that person who's willing to shoot from distance consistently does and gets good outcomes from it, is a massive thing. Our transition issues, which I would have come on here had we not signed Eze and spoken about, Bukayo Saka's coming ball to feet too much, Martinelli's too narrow, etc. You guys, George, you've spoken about it. The decision making in transition, what he does in transition, it's so quick. And maybe we'll talk later about so many threads. Talk later about him and Gyökeres, how that translates from him to Mateta. The ability, he knows when to carry and he knows when to just into the feet straight out. And some players, and I would include Martin Ødegaard in this, don't always have that sniff for when just ball into the feet, release. Ødegaard is always, which sometimes it suits it, in my opinion, a lot of the time, 5, 6, 7 touches getting out the field, and then he's waiting for the release. Eze, turn, bang. If the game calls for it, but if the game calls for it, he'll also carry, and he's unbelievable at carrying as well. He can take free kicks. We haven't got a free kick taker. You can go through the Maverick thing. You can go through all of the tactical issues that Arsenal has. Eze is water in the desert to that. And he's just.
It's the ingenuity as well, and the ability to kind of create without needing others for support, and that's what he's been doing at Palace for many times. And I think with Eze, it's really interesting because, I mean, when we go back to the start of the window, I really wanted this signing to happen quickly because of the way Palace play and the way Arsenal play. There's big differences there, and he'll need to adapt. But at the same time, what I love about Eze is, like, immediately you put him in that Man United game and Arsenal scored 2 or 3 more goals.
Definitely.
Hands down. That's immediate there. You see that you put him in that scenario, you don't even need to think about specific tactical details that he'll have to understand and the demands that we give. You just put him in those scenarios and he's going to be able to interpret that open space a lot better than a lot of these other players because, 1, he has the qualities, and 2, he's been surrounded in an environment at Palace that demands for you to show that level of consistency. What I mean by that is Palace are a team who statistically last season, they aren't ball dominant. They're a team who do sit off more and they stay a lot more compact and more narrow. And this goes back to the pressing point that I mentioned to George, where, you look at Eze's pressing numbers, you look at Sarr's pressing numbers, they're not really high. That's not because of the player that they are. That's because of how Glasner tasks what his forwards to do. He asks them to sit and screen and block passing lanes in the center. And then if you look at the number of passes that are blocked by the likes of Eze and Sarr and Mateta, they rank really highly there. Makes sense. That's where you have to look at the data from both the player lens and how the team operates. So that's where he'll need to adapt to us. But like I said about the open spaces argument that Mikel has mentioned many times when he's talked about Chelsea and he spoke about Madueke, that is where Eze's not going to need to learn from us. We're going to have to learn from Eze because he knows what to do in that environment, because that is what he's had to do time and time again for Palace. And it's just like you imagine those scenarios where, like, Declan Rice goal against Newcastle last season, against Man United last season, where you pull teams deeper, closer towards their box. And I've actually mentioned something about pinning, and I feel like we do overdo it at times, and it does prevent us from being able to play through teams more. But if you imagine the scenario where we pin teams deep and we're looking to set up a cross, that opposition are camped really deep inside their own box. That opens up the opportunity to shoot on site outside the box. And that's what you have with Eze, a real reliable shooter in those scenarios that we don't have enough of outside of a Rice, for example.
Completely agree.
So,
completely agree, man. There's so many iterations here. Where
do you think? Where would you put him now?
God, yeah. I mean, this is the big question, right?
It is, isn't it? Because we spoke about. So I said at the start of the window, I said when people were talking about Eze and like where he fits, that was the big conundrum. My point, my argument was that doesn't really matter to me at the moment because it's about addressing the skills gap that this squad has that lacks, and that's what Eze does. 1v1s, the ability to provide better decision making in transition, receiving in tight spaces, turning, facing play, making things happen, ball striking outside the box. You know, like the Erdegaard type finish that you saw in 22-23. Eze does it the other way, where teams funnel through the right hand side with Munoz, and then he finishes more towards the center and the opposition left, whereas Erdegaard's the other way around. These are things that this team doesn't have enough of. But then when you actually do think about the tactical fit and where he would fit in right now, I mentioned this to George, where I feel personally left wing is the role for him. I'd say as of today, with Calafiori.
I think coming into a new environment, I would try and make him as comfortable as possible, certainly initially. I think so. Here's the thing: is like part of me wants to go down there's no positions, man, kind of thing. But
you have to.
I always slightly shy away from that analysis because like it just feels a little bit. It's not a cop out, but it's a bit like. Okay, but there are positions like you are put on a pitch, and even Cruyff's Barca, they had positions. Like it's just about what you do with them. I do think he will be left wing to start off with, and I think we'll experiment those dynamics. And I think one thing maybe we are guilty of as fans is not accounting for chemistry. That just happens naturally, and you can't really predict chemistry particularly. Who knows? What if Eze and Rice just works on that left-hand side, and we can't really explain it? It just works. We couldn't, who could have predicted that we'd sign a centre-back from Brighton, a wonder kid from Madrid, and have a kid from the academy, and they turn up be one of the best pods that we've had for 2 years? Like it just happens. Sometimes these things just occur, and it happens. So,
and Mikel's alluded to that as well. Sorry to jump in. So when we signed Havertz, for example, right, when the idea initially was in that left central midfield role, and I think then as he transitioned towards the number 9, I think Mikel was asked once. I don't know if you remember it, where is that what was the reason to transition him to a number 9? It's like the chemistry and the feel, and it just made a lot more sense. So it's kind of like allowing players in which you buy them. They have discernible qualities that add serious levels of threat to the team, but then you allow them to gel in their own way before making that decision of, okay, he's going to be playing there. So
definitely. And it's like saying, that whole thing where we say when you lose, there's certain things you can say that you just like, there's no reply. It's like the subs were wrong. Well, you lost, so you can't really argue it. When things are going wrong, people do the whole positional, like, well, you signed a centre mid and played him at fullback or whatever. It's like, what? Like, such an easy thing to say, and I just think it's for me, it's a hard line to tread, that one. I think he starts left wing. I think my prediction is that will precipitate a change for Calafiori, or maybe a new type of Calafiori. But also, mate, people are saying, I know George has spoken about before. The idea of like being a touchline winger, and we'll need to platform in certain ways. I agree in theory, but everything has to come back to the pitch. And that, when we think about when is Martinelli a touchline winger, it's when the ball is central and we need them to stretch the pitch. And I believe there's a world. I'm not saying this is the perfect world, but it's a possible world where Eze can stretch the pitch like a Saka and be a chalk on his boots. But when the ball is coming over to, say, Saka's side, he's tucking in even further than Martinelli. And when he receives it, he's allowed to make those darting runs inside and rotate a little bit more. And the fullback goes out there sometimes. So he is a touchline winger at times when we need him to be, but also he has enough access to the central spaces. I just need to see it. You know what I mean? We need to see it in our environment. Until we say anything, we can't be too definitive. I do, while we're talking about this, and we should come to some super chats and your comments in just a second, but I've got so much to say about this. I'm so excited. A Saka as a Madueke front three is just like joy.
You've seen the pictures, haven't you? Like them together in England, like, and just
that's chemistry. That's just players who love playing with each other, and let's see that. Eze and Gyökeres, massive, huge. Literally, just watch Eze and Mateta tapes and replace Mateta with Gyökeres. That's huge for him. I think Eze might be absolutely massive for what happens with Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard. I think I can't see them playing the same roles, and what we've spoken about with Rice and Odegaard in terms of like the maybe the limitations of where they are at the minute. I think something's going to change there. It's not just him; it's the impact, Calafiori, and it's the impact he's going to have on those around him. So do
you know what it is for me as well, right? The one player I think it probably isn't spoken about in the way I'm going to talk about in terms of how it can impact him is Saka in terms of his productivity in goals. The reason why I say that is because when we look at areas of growth for Arsenal under Mikel, I think we would all agree that the left-hand side is a massive way in which we can really improve this team in an attacking sense. Now, you've got Calafiori, you've got Eze. Immediately, you're thinking to yourself, in theory, that's got a lot of chemistry in terms of players who are just pure footballers. Pure footballers together generate quality. It always happens, right? If you're able to galvanize that left-hand side and start to funnel more attacks towards the left and start to create more through the left, you're thinking about some really easy goals for Bukayo Saka to get at the back post. Think of that easy back post goal that you saw in pre-season against AC Milan, the Kivior cross, Saka there for a tap-in. I want to see more of that and more opportunities for Saka's productivity to increase in which he doesn't have to work really hard for. Because right now Saka has to put a lot of work in to get his numbers and to produce. Like the goal against Liverpool last season against Andy Robertson, that's serious levels of quality to get that goal. I want more easy goals for Saka. And I think there's a really good way. There's a really good way to do that by galvanizing the left-hand side where you attack through the left and you finish through the right. In the same way as we saw with Raheem Sterling all those years ago at Man City, back post tap-in, same sequence, familiarity. They knew Raheem Sterling was a player who would miss a lot of opportunities. But if we keep putting him in an environment where you just need to stand here and the ball will come to you, you're going to get 5-6 goals a season just that way. I think that's a really good way, and Saka just can shoot off as well.
I completely agree. I think his efficiency is a massive part of that. Like his ability to hold the ball in those areas up on the left before it translates to the right, I think it is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm more excited for a duel of the former chess champs between Zubi and Eze. Okay, here we go. So
how are you with chess back in the day?
I used to love chess, mate. I actually played when I was on holiday over the summer. I was playing with my sisters. I was loving it. It's great. It's it's so good.
Can you do the 4-move like checkmate? Like there's like that 4-move.
I'm clueless. I lost like 5 times. But I'm one of these people. I'm like, if my sisters beat me like 5 times, I was like, play again.
Yeah.
Wouldn't let. I was like, you're not going to bed. But yeah, okay. Chat, let us know the dream announcement for Eze. The dream announcement, because I feel like we've not underwhelmed, but I'd love to see a bit of creativity with the Eze announcement.
All right, okay. I got a rinse for this on X.
Go on.
You know the Jokeres announcement video? I said it sucked. Absolutely sucked. And I appreciate the fact that it happened so quickly. They probably didn't have enough time to do like a proper video. But still, I've got to look at the video and say it was pretty rubbish. I'd say the best announcement video we had this season. Zubimendi's, but also Mascara's. I really like Mascara's one. You know, the one
I like really Zubimendi's with the clock because it's
I think this one has to have big soul in it.
Yeah, people saying Sol Campbell playing the piano. Show pictures of him in the Arsenal kit as a child. Yeah, I think it has to be something like that. A bit of Sol Campbell, bit of him as a kid, and just like just someone, I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to have that clip. There's that clip going around about him, I think, as an academy boy, talking about how much he loved Arsenal and stuff. Yeah,
something like that. And maybe like the end, he just like checkmates Zubimendi or something. That would be sick.
Or maybe they in the video they're driving and they're approaching Tottenham, and then they just go past it.
The media team would never do that, but yeah. I mean, we haven't really even gone there apart from the top of the show. It is so funny.
Yeah.
Like, can we just like? I know, like, but it's genuinely.
How peak? How much? You'd be so few, because do you know what the funniest thing is? Eze would have been perfect for Spurs, absolutely perfect, especially with Maddison out and what they're looking to do. So, yeah.
Oh mate, and it would have hurt so much. I genuinely recorded yesterday. This is why I was in such a bad mood. I was recording a short that was like basically Arsenal are making a mistake letting Eze go to Spurs, and I was like, this is not, in my opinion, this is not good. And I literally recorded that, sent it to my editor, left the studio, got to Tortilla in London Liverpool Street, and got the bomber. And I was just like, and my editor was like, "Oh, the short's ruined." I was like, "Bro, I don't care. Like, I really don't care."
I'll be honest. I thought there was like zero chance of this happening. Like before the bomber happened, George still was feeling like it's gonna happen. He was thinking, yeah, this is definitely gonna happen. Still, I was thinking, mate, I was resigned to him going to Spurs. Absolutely resigned.
George is also the man who said he wasn't nervous for PSG semi-finals, so that man's nervous system. George Coles, good job getting Eze, lads. I'm presuming you're talking about Josh Kroenke. We should have got.
No,
Josh
we
Kroenke.
did it, Alex. We did it.
That was us. That was us. Yeah, we'll talk more about the sort of the squad and the window as a whole. But yeah, it's unbelievable. Thank you for your super chat, Georgie boy. Ivan Smith, 100%. Have him walk out onto the pitch wearing the kit on Saturday. Don't care about the video. The walkout has to happen. That I think that will happen. Odds on stream, I order an Eze 10 shirt, the away shirt.
What, as in like on the instant reaction?
On stream now.
You're going to do it?
No, odds on.
Wait, I don't know how this works again.
So, odds on. I'll say a number. You have to challenge me. You say odds on you order an Eze 10 shirt on stream right now. The thing is, I might have to do it on my phone so people don't see my payment details. Well, I'll prove I've done it. But you say that, and I say a number. Then we go 3, 2, 1, and then if we have the same number, so say it was 15,
then you buy it.
And we have the same number, we buy it. Okay, ready?
Okay, cool.
So you challenge me.
Yep. Odds on
8.
No, it wasn't.
No. No. I say 8. And then we go 3, 2, 1, and then we pick a number between 1 and 8 together.
Oh, right.
Say it at the same time.
What an absolute idiot. Okay.
No. You didn't know.
Okay.
I've explained odds on to my mum. I'm going to say about 13 times, and she still doesn't understand it. Ready? 8. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, 4.
4. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh no!
People are going to think we staged that. People are going to think we did not stage that.
We don't stage anything, honestly. We literally just jump on and just stream. We generally do.
Right, I'm doing it.
This is mine and Alex's conversation today. Alex messages me, "You good for today?" I say, "Yes." That's it. Get the third kit as well, though. The home kit.
100% getting the third kit.
The home kit, I'll say it here. It's not as good as what you think. When you see it in person, I don't think it's all that. The third kit, though, is beautiful.
All right, here we go. Shop now. Can you do the super chats while I'm doing?
Yes, I can. Let me get my glasses on. Actually,
let me do it on the website because I've got a discount on the website, and I'll prove it to you all.
Got one.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
At DRG7809, thank you so much for your super chat. Do you think we can make a 3-2-4-1 work out of possession, especially without a right back or left back in the 11, left wing plus Eze plus Odegaard, Saka behind the 9? Yeah, I do think that can work. I really do. I think I was mentioning this to George, where when you talk about Eze in that iteration, and we think about him being as one of those pocket players on the left-hand side, effectively replacing the Declan Rice role, and you've got Odegaard and Eze there. The current iteration of Arsenal in terms of that left central midfield role, it's a lot of demand, and that is certainly something Eze wouldn't be able to do in this moment of time. But my point to George was, why does there need to be that demand in every single game? There doesn't need to. You can be a little bit different. You can be more expansive, and there doesn't need to be the emphasis on the press, especially in games which you know teams aren't going to be counting.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and especially when you know the teams aren't going to be a serious threat going forward and in transition. So I think there's certainly the possibility to do that. And that's why I'm really excited about Eze, because there's so many different use cases for him that allows us to combat different things. And what I will say is, if we go to the Man United game, you're absolutely buzzing, aren't you? How much is it actually?
I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm not telling you.
Oh God.
No, it's £90.
Yeah, I thought it'd be more actually. Oh, you're not getting authentic though.
Oh my goodness me.
God.
I'm not getting an authentic kit, right? I've got to prove it in my app. Hang on. Keep going.
I'm trying to look some super chats actually. Oh, how about this one? Would you do this? Get a Spurs jersey, but with Eze in the name on the back. Just as
Right, here we go.
roll it.
Here we go. I'm just trying to prove that I haven't. Can I show you that without giving away any of my details?
I reckon you can.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Here we go. Screenshot. Lads, we've done it.
Confirmation email is done.
With an Arsenal member, 10% discount.
Cheeky medium.
£90.
Cheeky medium.
Cheeky medium. £90 as a 10.
Hold on. Tell you what.
There we are.
Were you hoping I said 4, or were you thinking?
No. Just said £90, bro.
No, but I thought you were gonna get it anyway. I reckon you would have got it anyway.
Doesn't Eze have an accent on it? I hope not.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So let me double check.
Did you answer the super chat? Did you think you
Yes.
made 3, 4? Okay, lovely. Nindo says, when Arsenal knock on a club's door, it's a different knock. Seriously, though, genuinely happy about getting Eze in the way we did. Spurs in the mud. Looking forward to the season so much more now. And that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. It's just going to be so much more fun.
Yeah, Saturday's going to be buzzing. Got Leeds at home as well. Relegation fodder. Well, hopefully that doesn't bite us back, but yeah.
Yeah, that's wouldn't it be so Arsenal in a week like this to lose like 3-0 to Leeds?
So last season, you know, when we announced Sterling, do you know what the game was after the Sterling announcement?
I don't remember.
It was Brighton at home.
Okay.
Imagine we get something like that.
Oh, I remember that. It was an early.
Yeah, it was the early 12:30 kickoff.
Yeah, I remember that. Right, let's do thumbnail check. This one, I will say, pretty good. The Heist. Mikel Arteta as some kind of 1920s gunman and Eberechi Eze. And I can't see the hidden Rohan. I'm going to guess somewhere around here. Maybe in the gun?
Yeah, maybe.
We're going to get done for having a gun in our...
There it is. There it is.
Hey, there he is. There he is. What up, Forder? Very good. I'm going. What are we saying, chat? What are we
I'll
rating
give it
that?
an 8. A solid 8.
8. I feel like you always give it an 8.
I gave it a 7 last week, I think. I wasn't
really
impressed with last week's one.
You weren't impressed? Harsh.
No, because I was thinking Ford has cooked. Ford has cooked many times. I just thought the level wasn't.
I like the color grading on Arteta. I like the fact that it's in Spurs' stadium. I'm giving that an 8.5. I think Ford has been more been more artistic, but this is quite a good concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
this is good. I like this 8.5. What's the chat saying?
Saying 8.5.
Giving an 8.5.
7.
Giving a 7. Yeah. Okay, interesting. We'll probably come back to the Eze thing 100 times. There's 1,100 of you watching a TCP live, which is possibly the most we've ever had. But thank you so much for joining us.
There was a different. Remember the stream that we did before with a certain.
Yes. I remember. Who shall remain nameless, despite his deep desire for us to acknowledge him. Right, here we go. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to ask you a question, Rohan, because that's how podcasts work. How is this squad available on screen? And I think I'm probably missing Dauman, aren't I? I'm missing Dauman. I know, it's maybe a bit early to put him in because considering he's taking his GCSEs, but a child. How far is that squad? I'm sure I'm missing someone. I'll try and find someone from completion. What would you need? And let us know in the chat what you think as well.
If we're being very picky, when we're talking about... And we must be. If we are using the left winger in a similar sort of way to last season, let's just assume, I think a Martinelli replacement is something that I would be looking at for sure in the near future, if we're not iterating. But then at the same time, I do think we're iterating. So I think that's maybe not something I would be looking at. So outside of that, I would say with Ben, I think we're coming to a stage where potentially, maybe not next season, but soon we might need to think about how to replace him and his profile. Because I think he's 28, I think, and with some injury concerns as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk fitness, fair enough.
Yeah.
But age, that's the time I want to have someone around.
No,
28,
yeah,
29.
not the age, but I think the injuries as well. I'm
I
just
hear that.
thinking. I'm just thinking. But I'm nitpicking though, aren't I?
You
I
got
could say.
you got that George thing where it's like Gabrielle's going to be 30 in 3 years. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah, maybe left back. I think we could certainly do with an option at left back with Miles and his integration in midfield. I'd be looking at that for sure.
yeah. I think let's go through. I would be, let's say, till the end of 2026, because you can't say, okay, we're set for 5 years. You can't be. I think to the end of the end of the season 2026 2027. Am I happy? I think I'm happy with Raya and Kepa up to that point. Raya will be what, 31 or something.
Yeah.
And
Goalkeepers go for long as well. Yeah,
I'm happy with Raya. Do you ever feel, especially Raya is the perfect person here, who I feel people are like just almost like looking for holes.
Yes,
I think there's like 2 goalkeepers possible, and it's in theory, isn't it? It's in theory they're possibly better than him for this Arsenal team. What we're trying to achieve tactically, with how much we need our keeper to have on the ball, the bravery he needs to have, the long distribution, the cross claiming, like all the things that we need from a goalkeeper specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You could go like, I don't know, what's his name, Juan Garcia or something. But again, it's a, you'd sign him to sort of challenge Raya. It wouldn't be necessary to replace. So I don't know. I don't want to look for a problem. It's that thing of, could you get 0.03% better with
this is the thing. Yeah, exactly. So it's like when we talk about, okay, let's look at David Raya and Juan Garcia, right? Juan Garcia is known from what I've read, known for these clutch-like moments that he's been able to produce. I don't know who did he play for last season? Was it Espanyol? Yeah, Espanyol. Okay, let's say that he is better than Raya in that regard. But then what about all the other aspects that Raya gives? Are you confident in saying that he is going to be able to take us to that extra percentage increase over Raya in those other aspects? And if he is, how much is that really going to contribute to Arsenal winning the league in terms of being the difference to, 23, 24, let's say? I don't think it's going to be anything at all that's meaningful. So that's why I'm so settled on David Raya. And I think his consistency since, as we've alluded to many times, that Luton game speaks for itself. And we've got a really good backup to him as well, who has played for a team in Bournemouth last season where he played every single game pretty much. With a lot of similarities in terms of play style. So I think we're really settled in goal. I think this is the first time we've got a really settled number 1, number 2, where with the Ramsdale situation, that wasn't settled because of what happened. I agree. You could certainly argue that the David Raya Ramsdale is a stronger quality combo, but it wasn't settled, was it? As opposed to,
I agree. And I think Raya and Kepa would be, I think they'd both be happy.
Yes.
Basically with the setup they're in for the next couple of years. I can't, while they're winning trophies, it's kind of, for a second choice goalkeeper, you must think, well, I just want to be involved, cup competitions, pushing my number 1. If he's out, I'll go play. But then if I'm going to be that, I want to be in a team that look realistically like they're going to win trophies. And we've got a very big chance of doing that.
Do you know what it is as well? I don't know what your thoughts on this as well. I think Kepa, it's quite, people may see it as being quite strange that Kepa has come to Arsenal to effectively be a backup and his minutes are going to be sparse, right? But I think it's because he recognizes that in terms of that Spain team, he's not going to get in it. Unai Simon is the number 1. I mean, David Raya doesn't even get the number 1 spot there. So we're talking about it being a World Cup year. That's not going to really affect him. So then it goes back to, okay, let me pick a team in which I can improve as a player. And it's in a team that is competing for a title and that you're going to be part of. So,
yeah. No, I agree. Let's move to the centre-backs. Gabriel and Saliba, as long as we can get Saliba signed up to a new deal till the end of next season, no issues with that at all. I mean, they're the best centre-back partnership in the league. I said this on a it's so funny when you do, as I did like a sport bubble shoot the other day, and I said to this Man City fan, FG, I think his name is, he was talking about Saliba and Gabriel and stuff. And firstly, he was like, Gabriel's definitely the better centre-back. And I'm like, I think Saliba has days where the game is almost a little bit too easy for him and he actually loses concentration. And that's what I think happens. But I think almost what's happened, and I called this, and you will remember this. What happens is we say, this person's so underrated, this person's so underrated, this person's so underrated, this person's so underrated, to the point where they're so underrated that they get overrated, and I'm no way saying Gabriel is overrated, but I think people are forgetting the freak that Saliba is, because he has a couple of moments, and because we spent so long saying, actually, Gabriel, they're in my opinion, they're as good as each other, in my opinion. But I'm curious on your sake.
I think so.
In different ways.
I think the moment in which Gabriel was, I think the underrated tag doesn't sit with me, is when he was actually, nominated
in the
PFA
team of the year.
That's
what
I'm saying.
Like
the PFA team of the year. Yeah. And also when Rudiger, when players like Rudiger, when he was. Did you see that video? I think it was a year ago. He says like, "Who are your favorite centre backs?" Gabriel and Saliba. He's getting the recognition. I think with Saliba, what it is because Saliba has a norm that he's maintained, but because of how good he is in terms of his all-roundness, I think people are expecting a little bit more in the isolated games that they do watch. Like, these people don't watch Arsenal every single week, right? So sometimes when they tune in, like if they tuned into that Man United game, which they would have done, they would have seen Saliba not have his best game by his own right. So then they would have looked at that, and they would have looked at Gabriel in terms of how strong he is backs against the wall in that sort of game state. It then makes Saliba look a little bit worse to a Gabriel, when in fact they're just two fantastic players. I will say Saliba is the most talented centre back I've seen at Arsenal, hands down.
And this is what I mean. It gets to a point where people they're so used to how good Saliba is. They've seen that rise from Gabriel. They start to underrate Saliba. It's this weird cycle where we used to underrate Gabriel. Anyway, I'm really happy with them both. I think they're both brilliant in different ways, which is why they're such a good partnership. And I said this as well. Saliba this season, I think I'm not saying Van Dijk is going to fall off, but I think that moment where everyone goes, "Oh, who's the superior centre back?" I think that happens this year with Saliba.
We'll use that one sample against Bournemouth as our starting agenda.
Or the Leao thing. For me, jury's just out on Mosquera till I see more of him. I'm happy in theory because it's a really highly rated centre back, and I trust Arteta defensively in terms of signing, so I'm happy to wait with that. Kivior's one that probably moves on, but I want to explain sort of my feelings around this. I'm happy-ish with this. What I would love to see, maybe, and the fact that Norgard's only on a 2-year deal, if we see Miles coming in here, then fine, and I'd love to see a kind of a different style of left back coming in at some point, because I do think that's a thing. If Calafiori, his future's in here, then we might need 2 left backs. It's kind of a bit of a fluid situation. For me, though, the benefit of being in a position like this with the squad is you're led by the market and by who's available. If Balde is available, go and do that and then push Miles inside. If Baleba is available, go and do that and you move Norgard on. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of how it just depends on the market for me. And that's a situation that so many, if you look at the top clubs, when they've got their squad to a point like this, they can start to go, well, that player is going to be available in 2026 because a release clause coming in or whatever. And it's more about just the talent rather than we have a need. You see what I mean? Because we're set. So for me, I'd rather be led by the market and by, if we don't need to do anything with any of these. We can keep Kivior around. We can keep Miles around, keep Calafiori there, keep Norgard around until the end of next season. But in the interim, this transfer window, January, following summer, following January, let's see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's why the early business that we did was very important, wasn't it? Because I think when we went into the window, the whole idea was to be able to plug the holes that needed to be filled, and when we talk about Partey going, Jorginho going, with what's that keeper's name? Neto, Neto going as well. These are things that we just needed to fill in. And now when you look at it, you've just got these players in one specific nominal position, but there's so much flexibility and versatility there across different roles, which shows how complete the squad is. And I agree. I think what it is now, it's like you go for the best talent that is out there that is possibly available, and then you think about how you mold your squad after. Because as I mentioned, the quality is the biggest driver, in terms of success. Yeah, I was trying not to say preeminent.
Preeminent driver.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with White and Timber. As a pair. In terms of stylistically, you've got a lockdown defender there. You've got someone who can do that. Like you've got very, very, as long as they can stay fit. I wonder how long we can sustain that. But if we're going to the end of next season, I'm happy with that.
And you've also got Mosquera with the option of, what Tommy Asa was able to do in that 21-22 season and how he performed at right back. You've got that option there as well. So
definitely. Zubi Norgard, I think for me, as I said, I would be led by the market. I'd be happy with that. It depends on Miles. Probably if you gave me in isolation, I have to change one thing out of Gabriel Kivior, Calafiori, Miles, and Zubi Norgod. I'd probably get more legs in the midfield, also a younger model there. But again, that's led by the market. Odegaard and Waneri, I think, is a fantastic pairing at right central midfield.
Yep, agree.
I'm really happy with that.
Absolutely. Yep.
This is probably the one. Again, it depends what happens with Eze. If we see him more inside,
And also Miles as well. You know, like there's
depends on Miles, depends on Ethan, depends on Dowman, etc. But Marino, do you know what's interesting? I saw today. Mikel said the person with the best tactical understanding in the squad. Did you see this?
No, is that
Mikel Marino?
Really?
He said his answers, and I wanted to read it out.
Is that a recent quote?
Yeah, it's a recent quote. So I'll share the video. Let me just pause this for a second.
Nice.
Well, it's Brazilian, but I think they're speaking Portuguese. So they're saying most basically best tactician. It was like if someone Brazilian, or I think it's Brazilian. The word is this. Can someone put it in? Mel or tacticamente, I think it is. Tacticamente.
Very good.
Melo tacticamente. I think that's Portuguese. I could be wrong, and I think that means best tactician, or the best tactical understanding. Please explain that if I could be wrong. But if he's saying that, that's really interesting. Like why he's keeping him around.
Yeah, I also think with the Marino thing, I've mentioned his flaws many times on the pod in terms of when he comes deep. When the game becomes stretched, when he's not able to get there in the press, it becomes null and void in terms of how we can kind of deal with what the opposition is doing after they bypassed him, where someone like a Declan Rice, he can recover. But I think with Marino, if you look at last season, some of our best attacking performances through the left-hand side going forward, it comes from Mikel Marino in that role because of his understanding. Yeah, Monaco, but also against Aston Villa, the 2-2 at the Emirates. To watch that first half back and some of the things that Marino was doing in pulling wide. Liverpool at Anfield as well, pulling wide. These are also games which you see his flaws, but I'm talking about specific final third actions and what he's doing. He understands when to pull wide and to allow others to come in field. His feel for the game in box situations is fantastic. I actually would say he's one of our, he's definitely like top 2-3 best finishers at the club in terms of first time finishes.
That Madrid game where he peels off the last line, like it's really good.
Also against Fulham, his goal against Fulham as well, his goal against Chelsea from the corner as well. He's got a real good feel for it in box situations.
Moonriver says it means the best tactically, more literally the most superior tactically. Yeah, so like basically the person with the best tactical understanding. And I would have assumed he'd say Odegaard or maybe Saka or someone, but he's saying Mikel Marino. And maybe he's trying to give him a compliment. I don't know. But
do you think it's also because of this? Because where's that comment? Yeah, because of it related to his ability to switch centre forward and in a role that he's never played before. You know,
possibly. Yeah. I think. Mate, I look at the squad. I mean, I'm basically at a position where I'm really happy with the team, and I'm at a position where I'm going. It's now about who's available. I don't look around at any of those positions and go, we are miles off it, and that's a really, really good position to be in because it then means you can do things like what City did with Haaland. They're like, right, well, we're just succession planning and waiting for the next best centre forward on the market to be available for £60 million.
Yeah,
you can do the stuff like, you know, if Jamal Musiala's contract comes up, well, that's going to happen next year. We're fine for Odegaard and Waneri for another couple of years. Like, it's not going to hold us back because they're fantastic players. It's really good. I think the contract situation is really good. So it's just, I just look at that and I think, you know, probably maybe down here, probably Reece moves on, probably Jesus moves on at some point. I think Sambi moves on, Vieira moves on, Zinchenko moves on. So we're going to probably populate the squad. We obviously got the Trossard new deal, which we'll come to in a second. Maybe Jesus sticks around as a kind of sixth attacker. I don't know, but I think we're going to populate. But equally, that's a brilliant squad, mate. I'm really pleased.
He's still on that Jesus train as well. That feel.
I love him. I love him. Let's come to some questions before we go to the next topic because I feel like we've been ignoring you in the chat.
We've been very formal today as well. This has been a very formal.
Very formal. Sorry.
Yeah. Lovely. We needed that bit.
How are you, Rohan? How's life?
Life is good.
Yeah?
Work's been busy. I've had a good week, though. I've had a good week in terms of gym, in terms of just just keeping active and getting my steps in. Yeah. How about yourself?
You're looking quite broad, actually.
Did I tell you I did a half marathon as well?
Yeah, cooking.
Yeah, mate. I was so gassed with that. Basically, let me tell you the background to the story.
Yeah,
right?
go on.
So at work, there's this guy. There's this guy, right? So there was these like balloons, 100. It had 100 signal. I'm thinking, what's going on here? 100K subs on YouTube. He has. At work.
Who is he?
Yeah. Have a look. His name's Chris Howard. Howett.
Chris Howard.
Mate, honestly, I was shocked.
Marathon in Crocs world record.
Yeah. So basically, when I talked to him all the time at work, and like he was telling me about his runs and stuff, and he was saying like, oh yeah, I was doing a 5K the other day, and he's really humble guy. Like you wouldn't know that he has 100K subs. You wouldn't even know he's a runner, and the word was going around in the office, like saying, "Oh, he did a 5K in like 15 minutes." Yeah, it's nuts, absolutely nuts,
bro. He 2.4 mil views, 5 million views. I ran a marathon in band shoes.
Yeah, it's nuts. I was shocked, and I literally just I watched all those videos, thinking, and he's like really good in terms of the editing. He edits all the videos as well, and yeah, he's sick. And he did a 5K in 15 minutes, someone told me, which is nuts. And I was thinking, that's like top 1%, surely.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's 3 minutes per
You had
K.
no idea?
No idea, mate. I knew he was a good runner, but then it then hit me like, okay, he's just not normal. And then... So
mate, it's the first thing I tell people. Hi, I'm Alex. I have 93,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, so then I was thinking, okay, I want to run a half marathon to start with. And I was thinking, like, I've only been doing 5Ks. Should I really just go from 5K to a half marathon? It's probably not the wisest thing to do. But I didn't want to go through the process. So I thought, let me just do it and try and run as slow as possible. And I did it. And actually, my last K was my quickest K. Which is
I'm really proud of you. I remember when you started running. That's really cool. Yeah. Mega Prankster says, how many people would run marathons if they couldn't tell anyone they did it?
But he ran a marathon in Crocs.
I love that he didn't tell anyone at work. Is he embarrassed?
There's a few people that knew in his corner, but I just
okay.
Yeah, but it was only a few people. Yeah, so
you're just not very friendly. You don't talk to him. Sit there on your phone.
Yeah.
Arguing with people.
That's not me. That's George.
No, George has cut down on his arguing.
He has. I've seen.
Proud of him.
I'm proud of him. Really good.
Go on.
How's your day been? How has your week been?
My day was good. I had a very exciting meeting today about some possible football content coming up, which I'll tell you after. It's not. It might happen. So that was cool. What else? I had a house viewing.
Oh.
I opened the door.
Yeah.
And the bed was there.
Just there, just like there.
I opened the front door to the house, and the bed was there. And I was like, "Yeah, is that?" Like, so I'm in the bedroom when I opened the door, and she was like, "Yeah," as if it was like just completely like, "Yeah, of course." Honestly, the estate agents, I cannot tell you. I'm sorry if you're an estate agent. Okay, actually, no. Public service announcement. If you're an estate agent, I know whether I like the house or not. You going, oh, do you like the house? Or you're going to put a bid in, will not change what I do. In fact, the only thing it might do is make me not do it. Just let me view the house and don't within 30 seconds go, so you're going to put down £1,000 commitment on this property you've been in for 30 seconds? No. I don't know. I've been here for 30 seconds. Gee, oh my goodness me, man.
Oh, what's that BBC One show? Is that Escape to the Country?
Yeah. I don't know. Depends what you're talking about.
House viewings. I think it's just showing different houses, isn't it?
When they go abroad. When they go abroad to like Spain and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's not Escape to the Country.
It's always like Sharon and Keith being like, "We just love a second home."
Yeah. That's it. Oh, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Back to football. No one cares about us yapping.
Well, they did. There's still 1,000 pod, isn't it?
Still over 1,000 people watching us talk about that. It's so funny, isn't it? Because obviously TCP Live is meant to be yapping.
Exactly.
Oh, location.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
But then people are like, oh, stop, yeah, just keep talking about football. I'm like, just don't watch. It's up to you. Predictions for the season. How many trophies? Where will we finish in League and Champions League?
We've got to assume a clean bill of health, right?
Let's assume. But Rohan, when you assume,
although that's not worked out very well so far. One game in, it's not worked out very well with the Havertz injury. So,
yeah, got that.
I think.
I heard you first time.
I think we'll win the Premier League, and I say that every single year, but I do think we'll win it. So we'll win one.
What we feeling, chat? What we feeling? I think with Eze.
How many goals is Eze getting as well this season in the league? 50.
300.
Yeah.
I think we're getting. Oh, I think we win the Prem, and go out disappointingly in the Champions League.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Would you do this? Would you?
No.
If we went undefeated in the league, would you do it? Because you wouldn't give a kidney for Isak, and that's fine. But would you do that?
Because he's a bad boy, isn't he? Rightly, I did that. Rightfully. Okay. Okay.
If we won every single game, no, that's not fair. That's not fair.
No, I think that's too far, isn't it? Let's stick to the first one.
Can we do some kind of mad thing? Because it was like 20 quid. What was our thing?
Yeah, it was free.
Quid. It was boring. We need to do a big wager this season. Chat, let us know what we should do a wager.
How define big? What? How far are we going?
I don't know. Yeah, shaved heads.
Shaved heads.
Shaved heads for something. We've got to do a big wager this season.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Shaved heads. I've got like 2 moles on my head as well.
That's fine. That's fine, mate.
I just wear a cap, to be fair, couldn't I?
Shaved heads if Arsenal win the Premier League.
Really?
Shaved heads if Arsenal win the Premier League.
Can we do some other options? Can we
no.
Yeah,
Chat, can you bully Rohan into agreeing to this?
Give us some other options. I don't want to shave.
George is in. All 3 of us shave our heads.
Fine. Oh my god.
Thank you so much. Right, shaved heads if Arsenal win the Premier League. Shaved head. Let's do another one. If Arsenal win
another one.
24. George, I'm getting you to agree to that as well. You commented. I don't know if that's a real. I don't know if that's a real account, but I'm going to pretend it is.
I don't think that's the real George. I don't think that is. Like, surely it has to be. Actually, would there be someone intimidating?
Intimidating.
Imitating George.
Ford is doing it as well.
Fine. Okay. If all 4 of us do it, I'll do it. Actually, can we get a couple more people as well?
Yeah. Who else wants to do it?
Yeah. Come on, chat.
One full TCP Live topless if we win the Premier League or Champions League. I'll do that.
Actually,
we'll do it now. Yeah. Weller says, I'm sorry for suggesting that. That's okay, Weller. I hope you're Joe Weller.
Thanks.
I'm a big fan of Joe Weller. He didn't.
I would have actually done. I would have done the other comment that you brought up.
You'd have done the tattoo on your cock over. Yeah,
because that's
over going bold.
Because that's not going to happen. I'm not going undefeated.
You are a strange man, aren't you?
It's not going to happen, though, is it? So we don't need to do it.
James just said yes. Where?
James B. Did he? Oh, God.
Where did James say that? Is James in the chat?
Let's have a look. I'm in. Barney's in. Barney,
here we go. We need a list. No, don't back. You're not backing out now, George. Oh, my girlfriend won't agree.
Okay, back. I'm not doing it if George is not doing it. Okay, that final decision.
No, you shook. You all shook.
No, it was contingent on George. It was contingent on George doing it.
I don't care about your wedding, George. I don't care, mate. You agreed.
It's contingent on George doing it. But let's think of some others. Let's think of some
No,
others.
just you shook. You shook. George.
No, it was contingent on
George. George put a YouTube comment in. That is not binding. You shook.
Absolutely not having that. Not having that. Let's think of some others. Come on.
We'll come back to it. End of the show. The Trossard situation.
Yes.
Thoughts. The Gunner blog put out an article. It didn't really explain it. Did you read it?
Yeah, I've read a bit of it.
It basically went like, firstly, that Arsenal have been talking about this from before the season ended, and I was like, well, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
And then it was like the reason they're doing it now is because you can't extend a contract by Premier League laws. You can't extend a contract. Sorry, you can't give a pay rise in a contract without extending it before the transfer window ends, or something. It's something basically we had to do it now.
So I think what it is before the season starts, if you're only looking to give him a pay rise but not extend his contract, you have to do that before the season starts. So that's why it was done before Trafford. Whereas if we had increased his salary post Man United, we would have had to extend his deal as well. That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah. So
none of that explains why we've done it, though. Is my point.
I think what it is that Arsenal are trying to hold off on giving him a pay rise because they felt that they could have moved him on before the first game of the season, and I think it seems like they've been resigned to keeping him. So then they've had to make a decision in which we can't go into the season where it starts where we don't want to give him an extension. But if he's going to be here, he needs to be on a salary that justifies that has justified the worth that he's given us in previous seasons. If that makes sense.
But I do get that. So you're saying, so basically,
what
it's kind of been he would have wanted to leave, but we're not willing to give him
we're not willing to extend his contract. That was the whole idea of it.
But we'll give him a pay rise.
Yeah,
okay.
But so it's I think what it is because we've got to a situation where it seems like Trossard is not going to have a buyer. Therefore, if he's going to stay, we need to put him on a contract on a wage that is similar. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what it is. From what I read of Gunner blog. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But I think it's essentially.
As you can tell, I half read the article.
it's essentially looking at the squad and looking at what other players are earning, and you're looking at what Trossard's currently earning, and you consider his past performances and what he has done in terms of his productivity since he's came to the club. He needs to be on a wage that is similar to other players, as that's what represents his value as a player. If he does
get that.
So that's what I think it was from Gunner blog.
He's 2.5 seasons. He's made 92 Premier League appearances and scored 21 goals and got 18 assists. And he played every single game last year, didn't he? So I think he's the only player who did. So yeah, I do get it. It's just a slightly bizarre thing. I think it was one of those things. It was also bad timing because of we were all sort of waiting.
Do you know what it is though? I found it interesting. So when I read the article, and the last bit of the article, it felt like. So the Havertz injury is what accelerated the Eze deal because Arsenal felt they needed to get an attacking signing. So I think the idea was that this third attacking signing was contingent on a sale, a Trossard or a Martinelli. But now, because of that Havertz injury, that's opened up a squad space in that sense because he's going to be out for a bit. So, kind of, but it depends on how long he's out for, though, right? So, you know what I mean. So then that's opened up the possibility of accelerating that Eze deal. So I do wonder if Havertz didn't sustain the injury, would this have happened? The Eze deal.
Well, it sounds. Yeah, no, I know. I don't think it would.
Yeah.
Which it does go to show, doesn't it? Like, it's weird that it feels like the whole window has almost come down to this, considering how much work we've done, and it's based on an injury.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the only negatives about this is
hopefully it's not, right? It's not one report we've seen, but at the moment,
what I think has happened, and this is a positive spin, what I think has happened, and based on the stuff I've read, is that we were always going to make another signing. It's just we had to do it before. We were thinking about doing it after sales.
Yeah.
But the Havertz thing made us do it before sales because we needed to do it. That's what I think has happened, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I also think so. I think so. The whole idea. I'm trying to think from their perspective of needing to sell first from a squad space point of view before buying Eze is because if we had signed Eze, that would have made it even more difficult for us to try and sell a Trossard because his value to the team becomes noticeable to other clubs who are buying that. Okay, this guy, they are clearly looking to ship him off. Whereas someone like Quansah managed to coop a really big fee because it wasn't known whether Liverpool were going to sell him or not. And Quansah, if he was there, he would have been third, the next in line at centre back outside of Van Dijk and Konate, maybe Gomez as well there. So I think that's why it was the whole sell to buy idea, not from a financial perspective, but also it was from a squad perspective, but also to not diminish the value of a Trossard even further. Do you know what I mean? So
100% that makes sense to me. But also, like, I think part of the reason Liverpool sell so well is they're just never in a position where they need to, it appears. Like even with Harvey Elliott, they're going to get an unbelievable fee for Harvey Elliott, even though they got Florian Wirtz and other players in his position, because they don't need to sell. And that's a thing where they're not only good negotiators, clearly, and sign well and have succeeded and had that trophy. And when are we going to be good sellers? We'll probably will be won some stuff, all that stuff, right? But also they, like Ben Doak, they didn't need to sell him. So they're in that position of strength. Feels like we always end up in a position where with the players, everyone knows we don't want Sambi Lokonga. Everyone knows.
Exactly.
Kivior's probably the only player we don't need to sell.
Exactly.
Whereas Sambi Lokonga is not going to be in the squad. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Kivior's going to get minutes, but he could go. You know what I mean? And in the same way that Ben Doak is going to get minutes, but could go.
Exactly. And this is where, when we look at like Fabio Vieira, for example, and I think there's a lot of frustration about Stuttgart not willing to pay the fee that Arsenal want. It's because they know that Arsenal don't need Fabio Vieira right now.
And we just signed Eze.
This is why I think, mate, when we talk about Edu and selling and Berta and selling and judging them on these sorts of things, I think it's incredibly unfair. Like it's so hard with some of these players because other teams just know that they're surplus to requirements when they look at the squad shape of it. That's what teams do. Every single team, when they're looking to buy a player, they will 100% look at their squad makeup and see, okay, what value does that player have to the team right now?
And I'm sorry, Fabio Vieira, like, I would love to get 20-25 mil for him.
Yeah.
But you cannot tell me Stuttgart are looking at the team and going, right, your best player is a left-footed interior.
Yeah.
Your captain is a left-footed interior. Your best youth prospect is a left-footed interior. Your second best youth prospect is a left-footed interior. And I know Fabio Vieira's right-footed, but obviously plays on that side and has that drift. But like realistically, that slot in the team where Vieira plays is taken on the right-hand side. So and it's also not how we play. And I would like to see a different thing there. But so I find it very, very hard to imagine that they are having any luck in negotiations. It's tricky because it's also like you get to a point where just accept the money, but then if you just accept the money here, it sets a precedent. But if you don't accept it, then you don't meet your squad needs and you're in this kind of vicious cycle where you're not ever quite a good seller. Ultimately, you got to win something to be a good seller.
Absolutely, mate. That's why I think, when we look at Arsenal selling during the days in which we're languishing in 8th, your players don't have the value. That's ultimately what it is, on top of the lack of proactive contract management that wasn't there as well. So these are the factors that prevented Arsenal from being good at selling then. And that's why I said the last summer window, we had a very good selling window in terms of what we got for Aaron Ramsdale, in terms of what we got for Eddie Nketiah, Emil Smith-Rowe. Those were good deals that we were able to do, but that's the norm for all these other top clubs every single summer window, and that's where, like, last season we're thinking, this is a really good selling window. But then you look at some of these other clubs, they do that in their sleep. So.
Yeah. Let's do as many questions as we can to finish the show. 15. Oh, yeah, for Leeds.
Yeah.
Vieira's right-footed, isn't he?
Vieira's left-footed, yeah.
Vieira's right-footed. My point makes even more sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your point makes sense. Is that not what you were going with? That's what you were going with.
I thought it was my point was my point was they all play on the right-hand side and they're all lefty interiors who are coming into, like, what we're building is that side in that sense. and that's where he plays.
Trust me, that makes more of an argument for your point. Trust me, that makes more of an argument.
Well, I've made it accidentally.
Yeah, see. There you go.
I'm an idiot. He's left-footed.
Yeah, he is. Think of the goal against Brentford. Remember that goal? Slapped it with his left foot.
Yeah, he's left-footed. That's poor.
Yeah.
That's poor from me.
Happens. Don't worry, Alex.
Guys, I would like to make a formal apology to the Arsenal fan base for getting the foot wrong of a player I haven't watched in 1 year, apart from a scouted episode with George.
You tacticos make me sick.
Yeah. Arsenal strong foot quiz right now. Okay, here we go. Cool. Give me one.
Down.
I want to do an Arsenal quiz.
Yeah.
Soon.
Sure.
So people can see that I do actually have some.
You want to what? Like, just you don't need to prove anything, Alex.
Yes, I do. I do constantly, all the time. No, I should.
Strong foot quiz. Do you want a strong foot quiz?
Yeah, go on. Give me a strong foot quiz.
Jesus.
Right.
Tomiyasu. Let's just assume he's still there.
Right.
Yeah. Mascara.
Right.
Yeah.
But he plays on the left. He has played on the left.
Right. It is right, though. Trying to think of a hard one. You'll get all the other stuff. Oh, Kepa.
Good question. I don't know.
It's right.
Right-footed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Goalkeeper could like trip people up potentially.
Yeah.
Raya.
Everyone's pretty ambipedal these days. Right. Everyone's pretty ambipedal.
Yeah, but you always have a strong foot there, don't you? You know, you still have your preferred
It's
foot.
more for me, like, you look, it's not even natural. There's certain things you can do on your right and certain things you don't. Like Saka on his right has this cross that I've never seen him do on his left. It's a kind of, well, he's got two. It's like a floated one and the cutback. It looks different to the one on his left. So it's more, for me, it's, anyway.
No. I hear that.
Give us some questions, people, in the chat.
You'll get all the others. I'm surprised you didn't get Vieira. I genuinely thought that was your point.
No, my point. Maybe that was my point, and I got confused.
Yeah, I think it was because you're saying we've got so many left-footed interiors. He's below the pecking order. So
that was my point, and I've got confused. Right. Anyway, whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Creative midfielders. There you go. What month and year was Max Dowman born? 31st of December 2009.
Yeah. I mean, that's he's still 15 that date, so
can't name shirt sponsors, but I can name a 15-year-old.
I said this to James, right? I was on it. I said I wouldn't have got the shirt sponsor question either. I'm not good with those sorts of questions. The shirt sponsors, like,
it's just
I wouldn't have got that one.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It's just like I just had a brain fart and it happens. So I mean, is Rohan right-handed or left-handed?
What do you reckon?
I reckon you give left-handed energy. Actually,
what does that even mean?
You just give left-handed energy.
I'm right-handed.
Tobias says, "What's my strong foot? I'll change it depending on your answer." People, I had to say it for a video, so I knew it. I think I know Marley Salmons as well. He's August 2009. I can't remember exactly.
What foot is Marley Salmon? Strong foot.
Right-footed.
Yeah.
There you go. Who was the player that was 28 until he turned 20? Oh, yeah, let's just do a quiz. Who was the player that turned 28 until he turned 29? Jackson Martinez. No,
yes.
Was it Jackson Martinez? Yeah, it was Jackson Martinez.
It was Jackson Martinez. Yeah.
I love this. Let's do a quiz till the end.
Do you remember? It was that account. What that really well-known Arsenal account that was. It had the meerkat, wasn't it?
I can't remember his name.
Oh, what was it?
I can't remember his name.
Chat will know. Chat will definitely know. Yeah, let's do a quiz. It'll be good. Good. I love quiz.
This isn't really a quiz question, but give us your best quiz questions in the chat.
Best trim in the squad.
What day was Rohan born? Do you know what I realised is obviously we all say happy birthday to each other. People could now know not my middle name. I never revealed my middle name. I've never said where I live, but people do now, if they wanted to work out, could get my full name and my date of birth. And I was like, that's concerning.
What?
But you'd be all right, wouldn't you?
Would the middle name really cause you issues? I'm just thinking, should I reveal my middle name?
But you need it for government.
Oh,
How
of course,
many?
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
How many Italians have won the Premier League?
Ooh,
It's not that many, is it?
no.
Is this one of those things where it's like it's actually one and it's Chiesa or something like that? Because I swear it was like it's very
Oh.
few.
I wouldn't have got that one. That's good. Good shout, that. Good shout, Alex.
Great shot, Alex.
Good
That's
shout.
the name of the podcast.
Italians.
Good guess, Charlie. Not quite. Balotelli and Chiesa, says Ape.
Balotelli. I wouldn't have got that.
Spell Wojciech Szczesny's last
Oh, I
name.
can't do it.
Here we go.
I can't do it.
Hang on. S.
Wait, let me check.
Z-
Hold on 1 second. Wait. Okay. Go for it.
SZCZESNY.
Yeah, you've smashed it. Well done.
I remember like memorizing that as a kid.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That.
Last 7 Arsenal number 10s.
You know, I'm not good with that. As in, like shirt number 10.
Yeah, shirt numbers.
Oh, I'm so bad with the shirt.
I
numbers.
probably couldn't give you the order, but I could probably get you. Oh, here's one for you, and I will do in a second. Last 5 number 14s because they're asking that on Arsenal.com. So watching the viewers leave. Number 10. Okay, let's go. So last one was well, let's say Eze. Let's have him, include him because we're going to struggle.
Okay. Yeah.
Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
Ozil.
Wilshere.
Yeah, Wilshere.
Fabregas will be there. Oh, Van Persie. Was Van
No.
Persie? No, Van Persie was
Van
11.
Persie. No, Van Persie was 10. He went to 10.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at numbers.
Fabregas was never 10. He was a 4.
Oh, yeah.
Gallas.
Oh,
6.
yes. Yeah.
There's one more.
Mate, I couldn't tell you. I'm really bad with the numbers. Really bad.
Was it before? Was it Bergkamp? Was that the next one? Who was after Gallas? Because Gallas, there's got to be another 10 after that.
You're on your own here. Oh, I couldn't help you. Nasri? No, Nasri was 8, wasn't he?
Nasri was 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good lord.
Not Paul Merson. It can't be Paul Merson. Can't go all the way
How
back.
many Spaniards are in our team?
Raya, Kepa, Mascara. That's 3.
Raya, Kepa, Mosquera,
Marino.
Zubamendi, Marino.
It's 5.
I think that's it. 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5.
5.
Yeah.
We're smashing this. I want some harder questions.
Numbers. I'm just not good with numbers. What? Should I give you one? Do you want one?
Go on.
What was Arsenal's original name when they were founded?
Woolwich Arsenal.
No.
Or but that was a name, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Dial Square.
Correct.
Dial Square.
Yeah. Good man.
Very good. Ball knowledge.
Yeah.
Ball knowledge. I want some more good quiz
Oh,
questions.
here's another one for you.
Go on.
What was the Arsenal Station original name before it was changed to Arsenal Station?
That is a good question.
And who was the driver for that? Which manager was the driver for
I
it?
think Arsene Wenger, George Graham,
Herbert Chapman.
Herbert Chapman.
I think it's a hard one, to be fair.
I don't know.
Gillespie Road, I think it was.
Gillespie Road. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Who scored the first Prem goal for us in the Emirates? I think it was Gilberto Silva.
Correct.
Well, he certainly scored the first goal for us at the Emirates.
Yeah, I think it was Olive Melberg that scored the first in that game.
Who?
Melberg, was it? I think.
Melberg.
I think so. I
Very good.
think it was 1-1. I might be wrong though. Actually, let me check.
Who scored more non-penalty goals in the last 3 seasons, Martinelli or Saka? I believe this is Martinelli because I saw this stat today. I'm right in saying that's Martinelli.
Yeah, I think it is Martinelli. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But which team was the first to beat us at the Emirates in the Premier League?
United.
I'll give you a clue. They also were the first team to beat Spurs at their new ground.
Everton.
West Ham. Yeah.
Good.
This is good, isn't it? This is.
Let's do 3 more questions, then we'll give our teams 4 leads. 3 more questions. I want some tough ones. I want to be gazumped. want to be absolutely gazumped.
Oh, let me.
Oh, Weller. Rank in age order: Kivior, Saka, Timber, and Carl Hein. Saka's 23. Timber, I believe to be.
I think he's 22, isn't he?
No, I think he's 24. Kivior, I think is 25.
Yeah, I think he is.
And Carl Hein, I think, is 20.
No, Kivior's younger. I think Kivior. Oh no, you're right. No, you are right. Kivior is older.
I'm gonna go Timber top, then Saka. Kivior top, then Timber, then Saka, then Carl Hein. Kivior, Timber, Saka, Hein. Is that correct, Weller? Let us know in the chat.
I'm feeling Kivior might be young. I don't know.
Name of the last Gunnosaurus. I remember this is the Mesut Ozil guy. What's his name?
The what? The last Gunnosaurus?
The guy who was inside the Gunnosaurus costume. Because
right.
From Mesut Ozil.
I do remember. I've got no idea. No idea.
Let's do. Oh, here we go. Last 5 U21 managers.
What in the?
Mehmet Ali. What's that dude's name? He went to Betsy, Kevin Betsy.
Kevin Betsy, that's
Kevin
the one.
Betsy. Nah, you've got me there. Let's do one more.
Steve Bold. Steve Bold was one, I think.
Steve Bold was probably up there.
Yeah.
Let's do one more. Johnny says, "What do you call a dog that can do magic?" Magic dog? I don't know.
Magic dog.
I don't know the name of the last Gunnosaurus. I'm sorry.
Freddie Ljungberg, of course. God damn it.
Ljungberg was what?
On the
is it U21 manager?
Yeah, god damn it.
Let's do this. Which country lowest in the UEFA World Rankings has had a player represent Arsenal? Oh, we've got super chat. Sorry, you've been stumped. All European finals for Arsenal going backwards.
Wait.
Last European final we were in, what was 2006?
No, Baku.
Oh, Baku, sorry,
yeah.
Baku.
2006.
I just blocked Baku out.
Yeah. 2006 Barca. Then
the 94 Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah,
was that the last one we were in?
Who was that final? Was it against Panathinaikos?
Yeah,
it would have been. Yeah, I think it was Panathinaikos.
I think. Is that all? That's really poor. Our European record is so bad.
We've won 2 Interfair Cups and 1 Cup Winners' Cup in our history, European wise. I don't know.
Super Cup final against Galatasaray. 2000 UEFA Cup. Yeah, so this is the stuff. I was 3, mate. I've no idea. Teams, Rohan. Let's finish there. We'll finish with our teams for Leeds. And I want to see a pummeling.
Give me your score prediction. Is it sunny actually on Saturday?
Yeah, if it's going to be sunny.
It's 5:30 kickoff. It's Sky Sports time.
5:30 kickoff. It'll be fine. I would go David Raya, Benjamin White, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Calafiori.
Yeah.
Same back 5.
Yep.
Zubi. Eze is only going to be on the bench if he's available, so I'm not going to play him. Zubimendi. Odegaard. Rice. Gyökeres. Saka. Madueke.
Oh, really?
I'd go Madueke from the start. I want to see Madueke, and I think against a team like Leeds, I think he'd cook. So that'd be my only change.
Do you know what was about that? I'd go Martinelli though. What's surprising is Leeds. I think they've moved away from Meslier. Meslier has been at Leeds for ages.
Yeah, but he had loads of howlers, and they're all.
Yeah, he wasn't starting against Everton.
Kivior Timber Hein Saka. I said Kivior Timber Saka Hein. Not bad though.
That's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here on TCP Live. We've signed Eberechi Eze. It's unbelievable.
Alex, imagine it doesn't happen now. Oh my god!
Well, I've got a number 10 shirt for Eze coming to my house, mate.
Imagine though. Imagine.
And you can't return that.
They surely. Yeah, you can't actually. Yeah.
I can't return that.
Imagine it doesn't happen. Just think. Imagine that world where it doesn't happen.
Where Spurs swoop in.
That
Or like Pep calls him last minute or something annoying.
No, let's say Spurs swooped in and did it. That would be.
There's no way. There's no way.
I just imagine.
No way. Well, you're in luck. We do it every single Thursday evening and have been doing it for about 2 years, my friend. So we'll see you back here next Thursday, my man. Content to come. We've got George's. I don't have checked. I had to check whether he's actually recorded it or not. We haven't spoken about it. George's Coach's Corner coming out for patrons, for Directors Box patrons. We've got instant reaction to the Leeds game coming on Saturday. We've got the main pod, which came out Tuesday, I think it was. Loads of stuff coming. We've got the Directors Box phone in. Loads of stuff. As always, make sure you're subscribed to the Cannon Podcast. As always, thank you, Rohanicals.
Nice one.
Nice one. Thank you all so much for being here. And thanks, as always, for keeping it Arsenal.
Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. This was one kind of queue the ladies thoroughly enjoyed.
Electrifying. Inspiration for Arsenal.